everybody. Welcome to this afternoon's consciousness. If you want to check out some other conscious videos I've been doing this week, I'll leave a link in the description so you can watch them at my Facebook page. I don't usually do them a lot, so I hope you enjoy them. I usually do automotive videos now. I'm building a mechanics shop in my little apartment and servicing your vehicle, routine maintenance, automotive services and repairs, nothing major. Just inspection monitoring, which is onboard diagnostics, generation 2 modules, and giving you live data and basically showing you that, as well as doing it for a very low rate to set that money aside, not only to build the shop and educate you guys with videos and actually show everybody that you can do this also yourself. If you don't feel like doing the work, you can find it cheap. We're going to speak today on where the country is actually heading now. A lot of us have become aware. A lot of us have been looking at things realistically and from a human perspective. So let's look at everything. Minnesota situation. Let's look at Ron DeSantis hiding COVID deaths. All governors doing that basically. And why we should not be trusting politicians right now. And this is not conspiracy, this is reality. I'm going to say things in this broadcast that sound like threats, but I'm just bringing the country to a realistic perspective on what's going to happen if we don't start doing something, which is called thinking rationally, trusting public health officials that are not politicians and are not doing the government's dirty work. That's not what they're there to do. These people live, breathe, and sleep health and human human health and wellness. So let's get into this. Politicians don't care about COVID. They don't care about coronavirus. They don't care about the deaths. They don't care about the impact it has on you, me, and your families. They care solely about what's in it for them. A lot of commentary that may come from this video, which we've all been hearing from all these weirdo groups lately, conservatives lately, wealthy rich people lately, it's not just the way it is. And I'm going to explain in 10 minutes why that's not true and why that's not even a real statement. Let's look at who's in control of what in this thing we call life. They control everything, right? Of course they do. We put them there. We've given, them so much power for hundreds of years. We, by mistake, I truly believe, being human beings, and looking at power, leadership, wealth for so long a certain way, we haven't really grown consciously. We haven't looked at what the impact could be if we start doing things with trade in which are selfish. America, I'm getting deep today, so I'm going to try to explain it as quick as I can, but as easy as I can, so you don't have to sit there going, huh? This is called philosophical thinking deeply. We know that power hasn't been good in all reality for years. Looking at power as an authoritarian concept, or in other words, Machiavellian concept. Let's use the mob for example. They did what they did, but they never did it to innocent people. Now if you did a bit with them, yes, they do what they did, but they looked out for their community and did their thing. So let's look at the government. That's not true. They're supposed to be there to look out for people, to make sure the country is running specifically in a progressive and developed direction. But that's not what's happening. You got public health officials crying on the stage because it is an impending doom looming over the country. I've looked at the percentages as well as every one of you, and I've done my homework just as every one of you. And the problem is, we are allowing them to lie and kill us. That's that. That's what I came on this afternoon to remind the American people. We're going to be killed. Because a good portion of you want to keep it the way it is. Not because you're a Republican, not because you're a conservative, or not because you're rich and wealthy and you may not understand the reality here, or and on top of that, you may trust your political system. But in all reality, you trust them because you rich and elite individuals actually control them. Maybe you don't know that. Whether you like it or not, you control our government. You have the money to control our government. You, on top of you probably being Jeff Bezos or controlling the internet or whatever the case may be, a lot of you in very high profile positions that are very wealthy are controlling this government. And the real ones to blame here. The blame goes all over the place, and it's not you, it is we. Taking accountability on all sides. You conservative idiots in conservative states not putting on your masks, you're part of the big problem here. And we are basically reaching the point of a massive revolution of awareness and developing mentally and spiritually. A lot of us, and I'm speaking for myself specifically in what I like to call the conscious community, know that these experts are doing God's work. They are answering to God's call to make sure that they're putting us before their political bosses, their bosses. Politicians are the fucking enemy, guys. And if you continue to ignore messages like this and you continue to just berate me on the comment reel, you're just going to chase more people that are trying to bring you to the light of not God only. And that's up to you again. If you don't believe in God, congratulations. You are who you are. You can't deny the universal control of everything that is, naturally speaking, in nature. Okay? So let's get to this. Every creature has been created. Okay? And they've been created in a divine way, right? Of course. We are the divine in which these experts are trying to also ensure that the human existence is healthy and alive. And so what, to explain it easier and simpler so I don't go on a tangent here and lose you. Politicians control medical and clinical and pharmaceutical professionals. They control that. They're called the CDC. And the CDC, they're controlled by politicians. So when they're trying to say, oh, we need to lock it down, they don't want to do that because it's what's in it for them. And they need to do the devil's work. Right now, Biden, in all honesty, through research and reaching out to some pretty high-profile people, because I like to talk to people, and they feel comfortable talking to me, what's going on and what's being said at the CDC, I said it at my live stream, if we're not careful of the fourth resurgence of coronavirus, which is more than real, they might lock it down to a point where you can't leave your backyard. You can go out and get fresh air, but you can't leave the backyard. They're going to have to deploy all branches of the military to do simple things like shopping, picking up prescriptions, etc. That's what's going on. If we're not careful, we're living in a box. The little box you pay rent to. Or you may own one. You may own a box. I call houses and apartments and homes boxes. Everybody has a little box. And they love their little box. But you don't want to sit in your little box. I can only do it so long because I've been incarcerated. I want you all to hear me because I care a lot about people. I always have. When on my homeless journeys, for example, I used to donate a lot of my time to making the world a better place in my little world, wherever I was. And that ensured not looking at you politically in the terms of organized religions or the status quo of the human condition of what we consider bad and good, for example. I look at you as a human being, and I speak to this country as a human being, and I ask that you share this. If you want to make it go viral, please do. Because we need more people thinking rationally and logically, but most of all, we need more leaders, thinkers, organizers, people of action, but also people of philosophy, deep thinkers, people with deep perspective and perception that look at things realistically. I hope you understand the message. I wish you all a great afternoon. This is 9 minutes of your time. I could save our entire country and the existence in the country, but if we don't, it's going to be a whole lot worse than what you're calling in your headlines across this country impending doom. Peace.